Welcome to Bootstrap Businessmen, the podcast devoted to the aspiring entrepreneur on a shoestring budget. Here are your hosts, #1 best-selling fitness author Dale L. Roberts and the Midwest's best, Kevin S. Allen.
All right, here we are. Very special guest and a very good friend of mine today. I'm just so excited that literally, I don't even know what to describe this man as first, but I'm going to tell you this. As far as being a bootstrap entrepreneur, this man epitomizes it in so many ways. This is from Real Recruits, Kyle Stanley. Kyle, how you feeling today, dude?
That's an intro, man. I didn't know you thought that much about me. Okay, well I'm excited. I'm excited.
Excellent. Yes. Actually, I've always remarked upon you very, very well. Not a day goes by that okay, maybe some. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. So, Kyle, give a little bit of a snippet. Tell us who you are, and of course, we definitely need to hear a little bit about Real Recruits. And furthermore, I would love to share the fact that you found an opportunity through me that you've really developed into just an amazing opportunity. So take it a little bit at a time, and if you forget any of what I just asked you, I'll go back and review it.
Okay, sounds good, man. The elevator pitch, I guess. I'm from California originally, now live in Phoenix, Arizona. My first life after college, I was a sports anchor. That was my first job. I was on the local news, doing that whole thing. Thought it was going to be a dream job. For some people, it is a dream job. For me, it was not the dream job that I thought it would be. I was really a baseball fan, a Cubs fan before I was a sports fan. So I loved covering baseball, and I always wanted to be, the play-by-play guy for the Chicago Cubs. But all the other sports, while fun, I just wasn't as passionate about it. And I learned very quickly as well that I wasn't finding fulfillment through it, both financially and also I wasn't helping anyone. Found out really early on in my career that I enjoyed helping people. When you're on the news, when we're on camera like we are right now, it's for a lot of people, and it's enjoying. It's really there's a lot of enjoyment that comes with it. But at the end of the day, I needed to be fulfilled, and so I just needed to find something else. So basically what I started to do was for extra money, not knowing what it could turn into, I started making videos on high school athletes. Basically just kind of started researching and seeing that, really bad videos were being created and they were costing parents and athletes over $300. And I said, well, I'm good at video and I can do a way better job. And if I can make an extra $300 a week on the side, I'll absolutely do that. And so I had 6 videos, the first 3 Real Recruits being, being invented and created. And from there, 3 kids got recruited. They got scholarships. One girl wrote me an email and said, hey, because of the video that you made, I got a $12,000 scholarship to a Division III out in Maine. That's $12,000 a year, not total. So she spent $400 and made $48,000 basically from it. And she wrote this long email and said it was one of those things that making that video, she wouldn't be able to take her volleyball talents on to the next level in college. And that hit at the heartstrings a little bit. That really, I remember exactly where I was reading that. I was on vacation in San Diego, and it was just kind of one of those things where I was toggling back and forth. Do I want to do this full time, or do I want to stay in the news? And that was the email that really got me going and said, I need to make this a full-time thing. That's way too cool to not experience that again. And that's exactly what I did. In May of 2012, I started Real Recruits full-time, quit the news. A lot of people thought I was crazy. I didn't think I was crazy because I was making more money for 10 hours a week versus 50 hours a week in the news. Pretty easy decision to me.
No kidding.
And so I started doing that full-time. A buddy of mine who was a high school baseball coach was the one that told me I should move it down to Arizona. And I'd always wanted to live in Phoenix because I'm a huge baseball fan, like I said, and all the spring training that goes on. So I took his advice. I moved down here for a couple months just to see how it would go. Here I am 3 years and 5 months later, and I'm in my first home, bought a home here in Arizona.
Very cool.
And, Real Recruits today, since being created, actually, I'll take it to when I first started going full-time with it. Since May of 2012, we've helped over 120 athletes receive over $5 million of scholarship. We just eclipsed the $5 million mark yesterday. The cool thing about it is that I get to live out, the sports passion of mine still. I get to help athletes along the way. I get to help families. I get to help kids, avoid or lighten the load of college debt. And all the while, I get to be my own boss. And I'll tell you right now, I'll work 70 hours a week for myself before I work 10 hours a week for anyone else.
Well put.
It's way fulfilling. Yeah, it's way too fulfilling. And if I want to make breakfast first and start the day at 10 a.m., I can do that. If I want to start the day at 6 a.m. and go till 10 p.m., I can do that. And I'm okay with that because I'm working towards my dream. And we came out. You introduced me to a little thing called Advocare about 2.5 years ago, and I got to tell you, I never saw myself doing that. I was not into supplements, not into health and wellness. I was a healthy guy just because of genetics, but Advocare ended up being something that as soon as I saw the opportunity to help my athletes with the products, with Drew Brees putting his name on the products, with it being the official nutritional sponsor of Major League Soccer, I said, well, if it's good enough for those guys, it's good enough for my athletes too. I got on the products, crazy good results, lost 3% body fat in 3 weeks, and said, you know what, I can help other people with this. And it was once again one of those things I said, if I can be my own boss and I can do this whenever I want, well, that's right up my alley anyway. So I just started very intentionally building this business on the side. Is made real because of the combination of Real Recruits and Advocare combined. I can tell you right now, one day this house will be a lot bigger and it'll be a different location, and I'll have a family and I'll be able to provide for them. And that's the cool thing about what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's so amazing, and I definitely want to double back around to talking a little bit about Advocare and such, because there's so many misconceptions and misnomers involved in direct sales. A lot of people that poo-poo on it. Yeah, I did introduce you to it, but here's the nice thing is I was able to duck out of my own accord, and it's like a lot of people think that you're just 100% committed to it for life, and and you only leave in a box. And I think it was so awesome. It was a perfect marriage between getting this direct sales model with Real Recruits, because it really helped bring something more to your athletes. And your athletes, man, you've done nothing but serve them so well. So I got a question, so we can get back over here to Real Recruits a little bit. When you started this, if you don't mind me asking, how much capital did you have to invest into this business in order to get it going?
Yeah, so when I first started Real Recruits, I only thought it was going to be a video company. So basically, just me. I invested about $5,000 for a camera, a laptop, and a piece of editing equipment. About a year later, I had the opportunity to be able to expand and help athletes to get marketed to college coaches as well by purchasing a franchise of what's called a CSA Prep Star. It was going to be about in between $20,000 to $25,000. I had the money, but at the same point, I didn't want to spend that much money, and I figured if I could bring in someone that had some sales experience, maybe we could take this to the next level and build a real company out of this. So I got a business partner, and we split it down the middle, got some employees. In hindsight, I wouldn't do that again. I would have used my own money, and I would have gone ahead and made the investment myself, because it's that partner is no longer a part of the piece of the puzzle. And just basically, nothing bad. It was just, not a good fit for him anymore. And so because of that, through some expensive mistakes, I'm now the 70% owner with a business partner of mine whose name's Phil Stafford. He's 30%, and he works his butt off just as much as me. So it's nice to have two people that are gearing and gunning and working hard to build something and build a legacy.
Yeah, you and Phil, actually, I met the two of you at the very same time, and you guys got just an undying work ethic. And so, what keeps you guys going? I mean, just working so many hours so diligently.
Honestly, I've always been like that, but it's only when it's something that I really was passionate about. As I mentioned earlier, I found out I was not passionate about working for someone else.
Yeah.
Found out I was passionate about working for myself. So honestly, you tell me to run a restaurant, I probably am going to run it with just as much passion as I am Real Recruits. It's my own business. So anything that I can do when I get up in the morning, my first thought is, what am I going to do with my business? And I probably have already outlined the plan for the next day. This thing right here, this phone, calendar from Monday through Friday, that it tells me what to do. But that's a tough question. I guess really the only answer for you, Dale, is that if I know that I can build something that is mine, and it's my baby, and it can provide for my future family, the actual babies that I'll be popping out, that's probably the motivator right there.
That's amazing. So you're really just building for your future, and at the same time, it's just so poetic that you're able to help other people build their future in turn.
Yeah, it is fun to do that for sure. I mean, you get the kids and the parents honest. Let's be honest. It's just like anything. You can't make everyone happy. I can tell you plenty of horror stories, plenty of bad ones. I would rather not, but I definitely can say that the ones that actually take our advice and the ones that truly dedicate themselves to this process and to the tools that we have to provide, they are successful, from whether they're a freshman or all the way up to senior in high school. Those kids are the ones that really love what we do, love how we help them, and they get on to the next level.
That's really, really incredible. Something else I wanted to kind of touch on as well. I'd love to hear more success stories, because there's nothing better than hearing success stories, because it's helped you build a business.
And
but
now you cut out.
Oh, did I? Am I still on?
No, you're good. You're
okay.
good now. You're good now.
Sorry, but
I heard success story.
So, in any event, tell us a little bit about the Real Recruits app.
The Real Recruits app. So basically, first of all, just to clarify, this is not an app that you get in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. So if you're going to look at it right now while we're talking about this, go to realrecruitsapp.com, REEL, recruitsapp.com. This is a web-based app that basically allows an athlete to take the entire recruiting process into their own hands. It's the power of recruiting in the palm of an athlete's hand. That's the way that we kind of promote it. There's three main things that you need in the recruiting process. You need an athletic profile, an online athletic profile, a video, and you need the connections or the availability to send that video and profile to any college coach in the nation. Well, you can do that with the Real Recruits app. Basically, it's making a profile, upload unlimited video links, so YouTube or a lot of kids use Huddle today for football, Crossover is another one. There's a lot of different things that you can link for a video, and then right there on the app is the list of college coaches with their email addresses, plus what we're really excited about is there's also phone numbers on there too. You can just, with one click, call a college coach, and boom, right there, in about, we counted it, it's about 7 clicks. You have your profile and video to any college coach in the nation. Now, the thing that I think separates us from other companies out there is, number one, it's a phone-based app. Number two, it has a desktop version. So if you wanted to do it on your desktop or your phone, you could do that. Number three is that
We are not the first ones to make a database that allows an athlete to contact college coaches, make a profile, upload videos. We are the first ones to do it from a phone, but at least to my knowledge, I won't quote myself on that. And the only problem is that, or the only good thing from us, though, is that if you're going to go buy that from someone else, that database, that ability, I'm telling you right now, the cheapest you're going to find is upwards of $400 or $500. Most are going to be close to $1,000. The Real Recruits app for a 1-year subscription is $89. Then for 1 month, it's $9.99.
That's killer, $10, and especially for how much you're going to save people time, effort, and money in the long term. $10 per month is drop in the bucket.
If you're serious about the recruiting process, this is something you have to do anyway. So be my guest, if you want to go on and you want to make, a free website on your own, and you want to do that, and you want to take, countless hours to make it look good and to upload everything you want onto there, that's fine. Or you could take 5 minutes and have it completely ready to go on the Real Recruits app. And if you wanted to take, 100 college coaches and do a Google search and try to figure out, well, which coaches are in California, which coaches or college teams are in Arizona, you can do that on your own. And again, it's free and that information's already out there. Or you can download the Real Recruits app, and for $9.99, you can literally click NCAA Division I, Arizona, boom, all 4 Arizona Division I teams right there, and you're 1 click away from sending them an email. So it's just about convenience more than anything.
Yes, that's very, very cool. I always love hearing about this app, and it never gets old for me. I know that Kelly was involved a little bit in the process, and hopefully we can kind of segue over to that eventually. Does somebody have to invest in your services in order to get this app, or they can just get the app on its own and then get your services?
The whole reason we wanted to do the app was because while we do love working for athletes, there's only a certain amount of athletes that we can work on to be able to give them our time, our efforts. I usually cap it at about 30 athletes that I can work for at one time. Mm-hmm. Well, if you do the math there, the opportunity to be able to have a dream, an entrepreneurial dream, and not just own a job. I read leadership books every once in a while as well, and you talk about owning a job versus owning a business. I noticed that if we were going to stay on that track of making videos and just getting athletes' names out there to college coaches, kind of like us being their advisor, that I was going to continue to own a job. I wasn't going to be owning a business. So what I wanted to do was streamline that process and basically realize that, this is a win-win for everyone, because these families are being asked to spend crazy amounts of money for something that's already out there for them to be able to do. $500 for information that's free to everyone, it seems ridiculous to me. And then it's a win for us because it's a product and not a service. It's something that as soon as someone signs up for the app, they can download it and they start, doing everything on their own. They have questions about it. There's videos right there that show them how to, get through and, work the app. And so, you talk, just for example, we just launched it officially to the public 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. The new version. Just FYI, there was an old version before that we had to pause for a little bit because of some funds. But anyway, this one is up, ready to go, and awesome. But we launched this 2 weeks ago, and we had somewhere around the neighborhood of 30 to 40 apps already purchased. And yeah, 30 or 40 kids are now going to help get that jumpstart into the recruiting process, and it costs a total of $89 for each one of them. Well, you do the math there, that's about $3,200 back to our business with zero work on the back end. And meanwhile, if mom and dad said, hey, my little son Johnny has what it takes and we have the money and we want you to make his video and get his name out to college coaches and walk him through there and do everything for him, it's almost going to be about the same amount of money, but there's going to be all of this work on the back end. And while it increases the opportunity for the kids to get the looks from college coaches, it also steals our time away from growing the business. So while I love helping people and athletes and all of that, I really am in this for helping others. At the same time, you've got to be able to provide for yourself. You've got to be able to expand a business. And I'm not in this to keep a business, the same in year 2 as it will be in year 20. I want to be in a much different position in year 20, helping more kids and helping us to be able to expand the business as well.
That's really, really awesome. So essentially, you are looking at a way that you can scale your efforts without having to spread yourself too thin.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you think about it, the great thing that the app helps with as well is that you've got, let's just take, for example, a high school club team here in our backyard called Aim High Elite Basketball. So that's a team that I got introduced to a month ago, and I showed this app to them, and that director of the club team said, "This is amazing. This is a solution I've been looking for, because now when athletes ask me, how do I get recruited? I just send them to the app, and I don't have to answer all their questions, and I don't have to, hand them off to a guy that's going to make them spend, thousands of dollars and not end up providing the service that they promised." He knows through sitting down with us and through seeing our success stories that A, the app works, it's an easy solution for him, and B, if we do like one of his kids and we say, you know what, that's a kid that we really do want, if mom and dad have the extra funds and want us to be able to help them, that's a kid that we can be successful with, and know that we're not just a car salesperson that's going to, give them the spiel and then walk away and never talk to them again, that they're in good hands. And so that's the cool part, is that the app allows us a whole list of athletes to be able to now pick and choose from, to continue to build up our reputation of Real Recruits being a business that, a recruiting service that creates not just good athletes or presents good athletes to colleges, but good character kids as well, good students. That's really the reputation we're trying to uphold and to continue to build.
That's really, really awesome. A question for you then. I think maybe you've kind of covered it, but I want to make sure that I'm not just assuming. So some of the people that have picked up the app before, the Real Recruits app, they've actually kind of upgraded to working directly with you then?
Yes, that just happened actually the other day. I mean, we had one family, 2 weeks ago, they were one of the first ones to purchase the app, and they said, this is awesome, what else can you do for us? And now we've got a freshman basketball player who's 6'5", and he's gonna, I'm telling you, this kid's gonna be Stanford or Harvard, or he's gonna be one of those top, academic kids. He's a 4.2 GPA as a freshman, and he's gonna be a stud. So it's already working in that way.
That's freaking amazing. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, that was going to be my next question, is when do you recommend these kids getting started doing this?
Oh.
Now. We've got 7th graders using our app.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And my thing is, it depends on each sport. Do your research on, if you're a basketball player, it's a completely different timeline as a baseball player. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to go to a D1, yeah, absolutely start now. If I want to go to if I know I'm a D3 player, if I know I'm a smaller school kind of kid, you know what? It won't hurt to start early, but don't put too much, complete pressure on yourself. You can start this. I usually say latest you want to really, if you are informed about this, the latest you want to start is end of your sophomore year. If you're not informed with this, guess what? It's not too late. We just helped a kid recently who came to us in November of his senior year, didn't have a single college coach talking to him, and he recently just got an offer from Benedictine University in Illinois, and I want to say over for the 4-year time span, and they're paying him somewhere around the neighborhood of like $78,000 for the 4 years. So, there's opportunities if you can really dedicate yourself to the process, no matter if it's sophomore year or senior year. But at the same token, you can look at it like like the dating game, honestly, in high school. Think about it. If you're not out there and you're not meeting new, as a guy, meeting new girls and, putting the charm on and, getting all the right, words out there, which would be in the recruiting process, all the right tools out there, then you're kind of setting yourself back to where, and the point, if you're a freshman in high school and you don't start talking to girls until you're a junior in high school, and all these girls keep looking around and saying, well, where's this guy been? But I've already got a boyfriend, and I can't leave my boyfriend for this guy. It's the same thing for colleges. They're going to think to themselves, well, where's this guy been? Where's this girl been? Why didn't we know about them earlier? It's too late. I can't sign them. I've already got a full team. So those are the things that you got to be worried about.
So this gentleman that just came in on November, he was rather fortunate to get to the position that he's in right now.
Fortunate, but not surprising. I asked him right away, are you open to Division III schools? And he said yes. And I said, then you have a shot at getting recruited. If he told me it's D1 or D2 or bust, I'm probably telling him don't waste your money. As much as I'd like to take you and your mom's money, I'd rather get a good success story out of this than money, because the success stories is what brings more business for us.
Absolutely. That shows so much integrity on your behalf, and that means a lot. Because you could have just easily been, stroked his ego and be like, yeah, no problem, D1, got it. Yeah. But that's really, really awesome.
People ask us all the time if we turn down business, and the answer is yes. I know, a doctor who is very well off, got his son signed up, and basically said, hey, I've got another guy on the team that wants to play college ball. I'll pay for him. And I said, okay, great. What are his grades? And he said 2.6 GPA. And I said, okay, is he willing to go to a junior college? And he said no. And I said, then I'm sorry, I can't take your money. And so that it doesn't happen too often, but it happens.
Right.
Yeah, it's whenever you don't think realistically they're going to fit into what they're expecting then.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the schools now offer like what they call the biddy programs. Now, and seriously, a lot of families take this very serious. Their children start wrestling or football programs, say at 8, 9, 10 years old. Is that too soon to really start recognizing the talent in the kid?
When you say biddy programs, are you talking about like Little League and that kind of stuff?
Yes, yeah. I guess, but not baseball. I'm talking more like the wrestling. Yeah.
Sure. And say the ages again.
Like 8, 9, 10.
Oh yeah, it's too early. Yeah.
Too early. Okay.
Yeah, you can, like those 7th graders I told you about they've got the app. I basically told them, hey, use the app as a way to be able to research schools and take a look at, that way by the time you're, at the end of your 8th grade going into 9th grade year, you've already got your list of schools that you're going to start attacking with emails and trying to get on the phone with and all that good stuff. But yeah, it really, when it comes down to it, the only sports that I recommend starting any earlier before high school is men's or women's basketball, football sometimes, not even very often, and then softball starts really early too. A lot of the women's sports are competitive really early on and through the entire process.
What are all the sports that you work with specifically?
Well, we can do any sport aside from the weird ones like rowing and bowling and no knock on them. By the way, the app actually has rowing and bowling. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
But the kids that we're actually working with, I would say the most popular is baseball, and I have no idea if that's because I'm naturally a baseball fan or because Arizona is a huge baseball community. I would say most recently basketball has been number 2, which is surprising because they were like our number 5 most popular sport for a while. But basketball has come out of the woodworks. Softball is starting to come out of the woodworks. Football and volleyball were number 2 and 3 for a while. I'd say they're more like number 3 or 4 most popular for us right now. And then every once in a while we'll get a soccer kid. We'll get a golfer every once in a while. Lacrosse every once in a while. Those are some of the less popular ones, but definitely baseball, softball, basketball, football, volleyball, those are the most popular.
That's really cool that you guys are super flexible. So if somebody did come up to you and say, hey, I would like to look into doing bowling, then that wouldn't be off the table?
I would make their video.
Yeah.
In terms of actually marketing them to schools, I think that's pretty easy. I mean, that's really, you make a bowling video, you throw a couple down the alley there, and you get it on like 1 minute, and you can look up just about any bowling programs, Google bowling programs in the U.S. for colleges, and you can get probably emails right away, send it off to 5 colleges, and I bet you one of those colleges is going to want you, because I can't imagine too many coaches are getting bowling videos. You know what I mean?
Amazing. Which I've seen some of your video packages. I know one of the times I came over for a mixer, or one or two of the times I came over, you and Phil were looking over some of the footage. It's freaking impeccable. I mean, this stuff is top quality video. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we've got a basketball coach that hires us just to do his basketball videos, and he said to the Booster Club this year, he was like, don't hire anyone besides real recruits, because those videos, when I send them to college coaches, the first thing those college coaches say is not how good the athlete is on the video, but how crystal clear the video is and how easy it is to watch the video, because you can tell the person behind the camera knows what they're doing. So, yeah, it's fun. That's something I know guaranteed every time we're going to get a positive response on our videos for sure.
Yeah, they're super, super crisp, and I mean, I was so impressed. From being in years in wrestling, I used to get to see like these hack type jobs and such, where it's kind of like someone's guessing their way through it, like someone's grandma went and put it together, like, I know this, I'm gonna do it on the Commodore, and you're kind of like, whoa, good luck on that one.
Yeah, no, I tell people, unless you want to go back to school for media communications major or broadcast journalism major, and buy a $5,000 camera, buy a $1,000 editing system plus a laptop, be my guest. But if you don't want to do that, pay us $400 to $500, and we'll make you a great video that you're gonna be proud to send to college coaches.
Kevin, we need to talk to Kyle about doing our videos for us.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I was like, he didn't mention podcasts as one of the sports.
Yeah.
We can do whatever.
But I'll joke inside. I couldn't even bring myself to ask you that, Kyle, because I know the amount of work you put into this. You mentioned real briefly, like, you can call your own hours at this point. So you take weekends off?
I sure try to. Sometimes it's out of my control. You get parents that say, hey, I got a tournament coming up this weekend, or the only time we can really do anything is on the weekend. But if I have it within my control to do Monday through Friday, I do that. But stuff sneaks in on Saturdays and then almost never on Sundays. But I'm getting ready to go to the Junior College World Series on Saturday in Grand Junction, Colorado, where we'll be following. This is the fun part of my job, is that this isn't even recruiting related. We just get to, because of our video skills, we get hired to be the main highlight video provider of the Junior College World Series. If you want to check out any of it, it's JUCO. That's JUCO GJ as in GrandJunction.org, where we're producing videos that are going to get on average about 40,000 views within a 2-week time span. And it's something that is really fun for us, because we get to meet brand new teams and follow these guys with a camera, and they're being treated like royalty, and for the first time in their lives they're seeing 10,000 people show up to a game, and we get to make all these commemorative DVDs and everything. So the point there, though, is that that tournament is basically a week long, and leading up to it, we're working a full week in advance of getting to know these teams coming in as well. So I don't get to pick my schedule for that. The schedule picks me.
Yeah, but I know that you've been doing it for a couple of years now, haven't you?
The Junior College World Series?
Yeah.
This will be year number 6.
Oh my God.
No, 7. Yeah. No, yeah, is it? 7? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 7. Wow.
That is nuts, man. Yeah, because I know I called you, I think it was back when you and I were doing, some, phone calls for Avocare, where we were doing some 3-ways, and you were at that at one point or another, and you were like, hey, I might get distracted. I'm going to put you on mute. Yeah. I'm going to put myself on mute because it's going to get really loud here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. definitely sounds like something you're always going to go to, because it sounds like you really enjoy the process. Now, question is, are you able to prospect while you're out there, or is that kind of a conflict of interest?
Well, that's the great thing about Advocare is that I'm prospecting for Advocare.
Okay.
There's no point really for me to prospect for real recruits because those guys are getting so much attention at junior colleges that are going to the World Series that even the 25th man on that team usually has an offer already. But all those guys are going on to NCAA schools, and they are probably taking some sort of pre-workout, post-workout stuff already, and so I get to build some relationships, introduce them to something that's better, and a lot of them are looking to earn income as well. And I've shown some of those guys how to make some money with Advocare as well moving forward. So it's a perfect marriage for me. I know you didn't even ask about that, but the Advocare thing is such a perfect marriage for me in what I'm doing with my business anyway, that it's nice to be able to carry that along.
Yeah, and this is a perfect segue. I think it's great. We've got about like another 15 minutes here.
Okay.
We'll have to kind of wrap up a little bit, but at any rate, I want to go into touching about what's Advocare, how were you introduced to it? Because obviously there's a relationship between you and I, and it's via my wife Kelly, who's been on this show before.
Yeah. So it was August of 2013 that your wife Kelly came in for an interview to be a part-time secretary, which she is to this day for me with Real Recruits, and she rocks it. Love the work she does for us. And she came in for an interview. She made a really good impression on me. Told her at the time that I couldn't really hire her, but that she was going to stay on our list. And she said, okay, in the meantime, would you be interested in knowing more about this thing that I'm doing with my husband? We're doing about 5 to 10 hours a week, and we're making about $1,500 a month, and I think it could fit in really well with your business. I heard $1,500 a month, and I thought, well, my office costs $700 a month. What are these payroll taxes? I don't know what this crap is all about. I've never heard of this before, but now that's being taken out of my funds, and I thought $1,500, yeah, I can use that if, and she thinks it'll work well with my business. I'm listening. Well, she introduced me to a gentleman that had introduced you guys to Advocare. His name was Dr. L.A. Becker, and I was really wowed by this guy because he had formerly owned a physical therapy and chiropractic clinic that was, drowning him in time debt. And while I was paying him well, he was, pretty much knew his patients better than he knew his kids. And I heard 80 hours a week, and I heard this guy building up a business, and I saw that happening to me. I saw that on this pace, that was probably going to be me if I didn't find something that was going to create more time freedom for me. And then he shared with me, well, now today he works his Advocare business 16 hours a week and makes close to $20,000 a month. And I said, okay, that sounds good. And not to mention Drew Brees. He's being products in NCAA locker rooms, NFL locker rooms, all this stuff. And I was like, well, this is going to be such an easy sale. And that was the problem in the beginning, is that that's the way I thought. I was in sales mode. I was in that mode of, gotta sell people on this and gotta, do all that stuff. And then I realized very quickly that sales and in direct sales, they should call it direct sharing, because it's not direct sales, it's direct sharing. I mean, like I said earlier, I got the results on the products. That's where it started first. Lost 3% body fat in 3 weeks, lost 6 pounds, started waking up without an alarm clock at 7 a.m. So, as a business owner, that was huge. Being able to dedicate the mornings to work and not to sleep was a big one for me. And so I just started sharing it with friends and family members after trying to sell them on it. I went to sharing, and the sharing thing worked. And today, it's not nearly where I want it to be. I can give a bunch of excuses why, but I'm not going to. And the biggest thing is that for me, when I actually put my effort into it, it grows, and it's awesome. It's nice knowing that when I can put my effort into something that's going to pay me for work today, that I'm doing today, can pay me 15 years down the road, 50 years down the road. That's cool. basically where I want to go with it is eventually by sharing and helping others to reach their physical goals, their financial goals as well. One day it's going to allow me the opportunity, the option to walk away from Real Recruits, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to do that. I love Real Recruits too much to do that. It's my baby. Yeah. I can see myself taking, instead of going full body in, it's taking, a couple steps out and keeping an arm in and keeping, the head in and that kind of thing. But at one day, I'm going to have a family and I'm going to have goals. I still have goals. I want to go live in Chicago for summer and go to every single Cubs game, for one summer. That's one of my 5-year plans, and Avocare is going to help me be able to do that because of the time freedom and the financial freedom as well.
Excellent. Now, did you ever get to that point of going $1,500 per month?
Oh, I'm past that now.
Nice. See,
yeah.
It's always good. Now, a lot of people kind of get a knee-jerk reaction. Direct sales. Oh no, it's the pyramid stuff. How do you diffuse that kind of an argument?
Yeah.
With a question. Okay. Do you know Drew Brees?
Who doesn't? But I'm thinking he's somewhere from New Orleans, possibly.
You think Drew Brees would put his face on a pyramid scheme?
Ah, very well put. Touche.
I learned that from someone that's talking to me right now.
Yeah, it's so funny. Now, direct sales. I'm going to, of course, share this, and I'm just saying this is a statement to you, Kyle, and I say this to Kevin as well. Is there's many people that actually get behind direct sales. So many people think, oh gosh, it's a scheme, it's a scam. Okay, listen, Ponzi schemes don't exist, and if they do, they're completely illegal. And this is 100% legal. And I'm going to tell you this, that the part that was nice about this is how much it costs to start up something like this. And this right here speaks to my heart as a bootstrapper, somebody who wants to spend little to no money. So share with the listeners, pretty much how you got yourself to the point now. How much did you have to invest?
Well, it's funny that you asked that today, because I don't know if you still get emails from Avocare, but they just changed that today, and it's
really,
yeah, a revolutionary change in this business. It used to be $79, and you used to get about $60 to $70 of products. After tax and shipping, depending on what state you're in, it was usually between about $85 to $90. Now it's $59 to become a member with Avocare, and that unlocks the opportunity to start earning 2 ways of income, and then building your way up to an opportunity to earn 5 different streams of income. I shared with you earlier, my total investment in Real Recruits before year 1 was even done, with my business partner involved, about $30,000. And I can tell you right now, how do I put this? $30,000 in Real Recruits took a lot of effort to get. $30,000 in Avocare did not nearly take that much effort and did not nearly take as much money to get to that $30,000. So the way that I look at it is, I make until this last month, we've killed it this last month with Real Recruits, and it's been really exciting to see, but until this last month, I was almost matching my full-time income for Real Recruits and Avocare together, for about 10 hours of work a week with Avocare and about 50 hours, 60 hours of work a week with Real Recruits.
Oh my
wow.
gosh. Congratulations, dude. You deserve it. Now, I tell you, there's nobody that works harder than you, man. And I know whenever you guys are busy at Real Recruits, because I see Kelly busy, and it was something you and I were saying off the air. I was just like, I always know when it's Real Recruits time, because Kelly's got that look on her face, and I'm like, nope, don't mess with her.
Yeah.
I go to the other room.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, yeah, no, it's fun. And like I said, I never saw myself doing Avocare because of that fact, because I was busy with Real Recruits. And that's another thing is, if it's not someone thinking that it's a pyramid scheme or that the products are not safe, it's someone saying that they don't have time. I can tell you right now, I don't have time. But I'll tell you what I do have time for. I have time to be able to build my future, and if that's enough of a reason for you to want to put your time into something, that put a little bit of time into something that can give you a lot of time in the future, That's the way that I look at it. That's the way that people should look at it. But you know what? We get trapped in this mindset from the first time that we go to school, and that is that, you know, you gotta get good grades in high school so you can go to a good college, and you gotta get good grades in college so that you can get a good job, and you gotta do well in your job so you can have a good career, and then you're gonna retire at the age of 60 or 65 with a good pension plan, with a good 401k, so that you can live off of that money. And then you realize, if you've made it that far and you're healthy enough and you can still enjoy life, 65 is the first time that you're really exploring the world. Well, there's people in direct sales that are exploring this world at the age of 22 and never holding a full-time job, and are going to be making way more and helping others to make way more, that residual type of money is going to help them not have to worry about, you know, ever getting a full-time job. And that's freedom, man. That's the cool thing. That, you know, it's not, at the end of the day, it's not me selling vitamins. That's not what attracted me to Avocare. The thing that attracted me to Avocare was time freedom, the ability to help more people, the ability to be able to create my own life. And I'm still not where I want to be with it, but I know that with consistent effort that I will be there one day.
Wow.
Yeah, you've always, you know, carried yourself with such great poise and such. You know, I had a pretty expansive downline at one point, and you know, as I mentioned earlier in the show, this is a business that I stepped back from because obviously my priorities are in self-publishing and Bootstrap Businessmen and many other kind of ventures. So I kind of like got it to a point where I was like, you know what, I have to kind of step away from it because I can't give it my undivided attention, or I should be more specific. I didn't want to give it my undivided attention because I was doing pretty good income on that, and it's very, very possible for you to go in at a very, very low level and build it up to really, really high level. And I congratulate you. You've got an amazing team, and that's the most important lesson. If anybody's ever in direct sales, don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't sell things, man. That's to me. Hashtag don't be weird. And Kyle, yeah, hashtag. I learned that one from you, by the way. Saying verbally hashtag on something, you're like, hashtag, it's landing.
I did that? Man,
yeah, it was like a video. You guys, yeah, you were posting like some video, and I just died laughing. I was like, did he just hashtag his like verbal like share? I was like, okay, well that works. But anyway,
I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as we start to wrap up, I definitely would love to, actually, that's a really good conversation because, you know, with you working in direct sales, there was some way that you have conducted yourself that I think it shows more poise. It's so funny that normally in the direct sales model, you typically get a hold of your upline to help you out with, you know, bringing prospects in and showing them the opportunity. But there was a few times that I brought you in because I was like, you're a player, man. You know how to, not player, that sounds wrong. You are good at it. You're professional, but yet you're very relaxed. It was a really good relaxed intensity when I bring you to the table. So I would love to bring you back maybe, and maybe have us to where we can share not necessarily this exact direct sales opportunity, but how to, you know, not be weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love that. So 2.5 years in Avocare, you're kind of matching your income. I mean, what are your goals within that business, say, over the next 2 years?
With Avocare?
Yeah.
To me, sky's the limit, but I can tell you I've got my goals written out to just the end of this year. I want to be to a level that's called Ruby. Ruby pays about $85,000 a year with Avocare.
Nice.
You know, you can write down your goals, but they're not a reality until you actually put the plan in action. And so that's the goal with it. In 2 years, I'm going to be really stereotypical when it comes to a sports cliche right now. I'm going to take it one game at a time. I'm going to take it one day at a time. I'm going to take it one inning at a time. I'm just kidding.
Inch by inch.
Yeah. No, I want to be to that six-figure income for sure with it. That just allows so many opportunities for me to, yes, build that future for myself, but not have to worry so much about making an income with real recruits as well. I can tell you when I can put my attention into things that can bring in more people that have that passion that I do, so that they can replicate what I can do. It's kind of like slowing down to speed up. It would help us to slow down to speed up for sure.
Okay.
Excellent, man. I always love how real you are, and it's really cool that you're very transparent. Now, as we're wrapping things up, how can someone get a hold of you? Obviously, not through just Real Recruits, but also if somebody's looking into the opportunity of Advocare and maybe get answer a few questions. Because I'll tell you guys right now, if you try to get a hold of me, I'll probably just send you to Kyle. That's literally the direction I'll send you to.
Yeah, I guess should I be worried about putting my phone number out there? I don't know. You
that's your call, man. You're going to be shown globally, so you never know.
Yeah. Let's go an email address. How about that? Email address and website. So let's go. First of all, for Real Recruits, it's realrecruits.com.
Mm-hmm.
For Advocare, the website. What do I want to send them to? Let's do choosethechallenge.com/real recruits. Again, choosethechallenge.com/real recruits. And then my email address is, we'll go with my Gmail, contactrealrecruits@gmail.com.
Excellent. And for those of you that are listening, reel is actually spelled R-E-E-L, as in like a film reel. So, Kyle, I can't tell you how much it means to me that you've taken time out of your day to sit down and speak with us. I really do appreciate you hanging in there despite some of our technical issues. It seems like it's par for course. We were right on track.
Wasn't bad.
Excellent. Very good. Well, hey, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Kevin, you got any final words before we disconnect?
No, man. Definitely we want to have you back on, though, to discuss a little more about the poise that you bring to the table. So,
awesome.
Hashtag don't be weird.
Hashtag don't be weird.
Hashtag be less like Dale. I'm joking, man.
Well, very good. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. We're going to check out. And those of you that are tuning in right now to Bootstrap Businessmen, if you happen to be live, stick around. We're going to be coming back on with Dewan Bainey. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
Please support the show by simply shopping at Amazon through the link in the show description. Every time you make a purchase through the provided link, a small percentage of sales goes back to support the show. There's no additional cost to you, and it greatly helps us out. Simply go to the link, bookmark it in your browser, and do your shopping on Amazon while you support the Bootstrap Businessmen podcast. Thanks for tuning in to Bootstrap Businessmen.